Have you ever wondered what it was like to live during the Viking Age? This fascinating era, stretching from the late 8th century to the early 11th century, saw Norse seafarers from Scandinavia set sail across the known world. These intrepid explorers, traders and warriors, often collectively referred to as Vikings, hailed from three main groups: the Danes, the Swedes and the Norwegians. Their homeland of Scandinavia, a region encompassing present-day Denmark, Norway and Sweden, served as the launchpad for their daring voyages. Their sea expeditions, powered by their iconic longships, took them as far as North America in the west and the Caspian Sea in the east, leaving a lasting impact on lands far and wide. But the Vikings were more than just fearsome warriors. They were skilled traders, crafty diplomats and innovative farmers. Their daily lives, customs and beliefs paint a fuller picture of their culture. So the Viking Age was a significant period in history marked by the extensive sea expeditions of the Vikings. Why were the Vikings known for their sea expeditions? Well, the answer lies in their remarkable seafaring skills and advanced shipbuilding technology. Designed for speed and agility, the Viking longships were the epitome of maritime innovation, allowing them to navigate both open seas and shallow rivers. But what drove these voyages? The objectives were as diverse as the Vikings themselves. Trade was a significant motivator. From the British Isles to Byzantium, the Vikings traded goods such as furs, tusks and precious metals, to name a few. Yet the lure of new lands was equally compelling. The Vikings colonized far-flung territories including Iceland, Greenland and even parts of North America. But let's not forget the infamous Viking raids. These were not mere acts of pillaging, but strategic moves to exert power and influence. Thus, the Vikings were not just warriors, but also skilled seafarers and explorers. What was daily life like for the Vikings? Were they just warriors? Well, the Vikings were indeed fierce warriors, but their lives extended far beyond the battlefield. In fact, the majority of Vikings were farmers, traders, and craftsmen. Their daily lives were filled with tasks that were essential for their survival and prosperity. In the fertile lands of Scandinavia, many Vikings worked tirelessly as farmers. They cultivated crops such as barley, oats and rye, and raised livestock including cattle, sheep, goats, pigs and poultry. Their diet was a healthy mix of meat, fish, dairy products and a variety of fruits and vegetables that they grew on their farms. Beyond agriculture, Vikings were also skilled traders and craftsmen. Their trading networks extended across Europe, Asia, and even North America. From their homelands, they would set sail in their iconic longships, carrying goods like honey, furs, wool, iron and timber to distant lands. In return, they would bring back commodities like silk, spices, wine and precious metals. Their craftsmanship was equally impressive. Viking artisans were known for their intricate metalwork, wood carving and textile weaving. Their creations, ranging from beautifully decorated weapons to ornate jewelry, are testament to their artistic talent and technical skill. Now let's delve into the main customs and beliefs of the Vikings. Their religious practices revolved around a pantheon of gods, with Odin and Thor being the most revered. They believed in fate, or weird, and that their actions in life would determine their fate in the afterlife. Social structure was also key in Viking society. At the top were the jarls, the nobility, followed by the carls, the free farmers and craftsmen, and at the bottom, the thralls, who were slaves. This hierarchy dictated one's rights, responsibilities and social interactions. Viking customs extended to their funerary practices too. They believed that the deceased would journey to the afterlife in a ship, hence the iconic image of the Viking ship burial, wherein a ship would be filled with the deceased's possessions and set aflame. So the Vikings were not just warriors, but also engaged in various other occupations and had a rich culture and belief system. So how did this fascinating era come to an end? The end of the Viking Age wasn't marked by a single catastrophic event. Rather, it was a gradual process that unfolded over several decades, even centuries. One of the key factors was the adoption of Christianity throughout Scandinavia. The Vikings, initially known for their pagan beliefs, began to convert to Christianity around the 10th century. This religious shift brought about significant changes in their society and culture, including their approach to warfare and exploration. Another major factor was the establishment of centralized kingdoms in Scandinavia. As these kingdoms consolidated their power, the era of independent seafaring Vikings began to wane. The once feared raiders found themselves absorbed into the emerging political structures. Their way of life slowly but inevitably transformed. Therefore, the Viking Age ended not with a dramatic event, but with gradual changes in the political and religious landscape of Scandinavia. So, what do you think about the Vikings now? As we've journeyed through time, we've explored the Viking Age, a period marked by the seafaring exploits of a people renowned for their courage and resilience. From their homeland in Scandinavia, the Vikings ventured far and wide, driven by a variety of objectives, from trade to conquest. Yet, they weren't just warriors. Their daily life was rich and varied, influenced by unique customs and beliefs that shaped their worldview. And although the Viking Age may have ended over 1,000 years ago, its impact is still palpable today, embedded in our culture, our language, and our collective imagination. As we reflect on this fascinating era, let's remember that history isn't just about dates and facts. It's about understanding the human experience, appreciating the diversity of our past, and drawing lessons for our future. The Viking Age might be over, but its influence continues to be felt in our modern world.